Good morning. Welcome to Open Door Yoga. My name is Michelle. I'm excited you are here today because it is the first Saturday of the month, which means we have a full 60-minute hatha yoga class for you. For this class, you don't need any props. You may want a folded blanket or a folded towel for our first posture when we're just in a comfy seat if you like to have a lift under your hips. I may also give some options on how to use blocks, but if you don't have blocks, don't worry. If you do have them, feel free to grab them and just keep them close by. So with that being said, let's get started. I'm gonna take a seat on my lift and we're just gonna come to a comfortable, easy seat. So you can bring your hands to your thighs, maybe rest your palms down. If it feels good to rest the backs of your hands on your thighs, or maybe take a mudra, you're welcome to do that as well. And let's get settled into this posture. So feel both of your sitting bones ground down into the earth, your weight distributed evenly. And keeping that grounding, begin to reach the crown of your head up towards the sky. So we're creating this length in our spine. Engage your core to help support that upright position that we're in. Let's roll our shoulders back, draw them down away from our ears, our shoulder blades down and in on our back body. And then from here, I invite you to close your gaze down, or if it doesn't feel good to close it all the way, maybe just lower it down to the ground. And as you start to get settled into this posture, and as you arrive here on your mat into this practice, let's chat for a moment about today's class. So today's class is focused on gratitude. And we just spent a hopefully wonderful Thanksgiving holiday thinking about all the things that we are thankful for. Our family, our friends, the health and happiness of those that we love. And today we're going to go a little bit more inward. One of the principles or tenets of yoga is the practice of ahimsa, or non-judgment. And that's non-judgment towards others and also non-judgment towards ourselves. And that second piece can be hard. If you're anything like me, sometimes the person we're most critical of is ourselves. So let's take a small step together by finding something that makes you grateful to be you. And so it doesn't have to be big or life-changing, just something that's meaningful to you. Maybe it's an act of kindness that you had yesterday when you held the door open for somebody. Maybe it's an act of patience that you shared when you were scrolling through your social media and a post triggered you. And instead of commenting, you just kept on going. But take a moment and find that thought, and we're gonna try to hold on to it and set that as our intention for today's practice. So take a moment, find that thought, and then as you feel ready, we're going to bring our hands to heart center. So press your thumbs into your breastbone, your chest bone here. And then we're going to drop our chin to our chest. So as we go through today's practice, check in, not only with the physical sensations in our body, but also with our inner dialogue. Notice any thoughts, any feelings that come up, and we're not necessarily going to try to change them, but maybe if you're noticing that those thoughts don't serve you well, let's reframe them a little bit by just coming back to this thought of gratitude or this intention. So let's use this practice to feel grateful for all those wonderful things that make you you. Let's take a full breath in together, full breath out. And then on your next inhale, we're going to lift our gaze back up and then sweep our arms up and overhead. Exhale, draw your shoulders down away from your ears. One more full inhale here. And then exhale, plant your right hand and begin to bend towards the right side wall. So on your inhales, feel this expansion through your left side body, your left rib cage. Exhale, pull your shoulder down away from your ear. Inhale, maybe we lift our gaze up towards the sky. And exhale, stay grounded down through both of our sitting bones. One more full breath in, full breath out. Inhale, rise on up. Other hand can come up to meet. And then exhale, let's take it to the other side. So drop your left hand, begin to bend towards the left. And inhale, feel this opening this time through your right side body, through your right rib cage. Exhale, pull your shoulder blades down and in on your back body. Inhale, maybe it feels better to keep our gaze here, or if you'd like, we can lift it up towards the ceiling. Exhale, stay grounded through both sitting bones. So both distribute that weight evenly. One more full breath in, full breath out. Inhale, let's rise on up. Bring our left arm up to meet. And then exhale, release your hands back to your comfortable seat. From here, we're going to make our way onto hands and knees. So take your time. You can come over any way that you'd like. If you have a lift, you can set it off to the side. And let's check that our wrists are under our elbows, elbows are under our shoulders, our knees are under our hips. Toes can be tucked or untucked here. If you feel like your belly is starting to sag down towards the earth, just bring a little bit of engagement to it. So pull your belly button in, away from your shirt, press away from the earth. And let's start to warm up our spine just a little bit. So on your next inhale, begin to tilt your tailbone up, drop your belly, pull your shoulders back, and gaze lifts. Bitilasana cow pose. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, begin to round through your spine, drop your gaze, press away from the mat. Marjariyasana cat pose. Move with your breath. So inhales are going to guide you into cow pose, and feel that widening through your collarbones, through your chest. And exhales are going to send us into cat pose. And this time, feel that sensation, that stretch through your upper back body between your shoulder blades. So movement is starting at our tailbone and moving one vertebra at a time up our spine like a wave. Let's take one more cow pose, one more cat pose wherever you are. And then we'll meet in our tabletop spine. Take a couple breaths here. Recenter. If you chose to keep your toes untucked, let's all tuck them here together. Begin to ground down through both palms evenly, through all 10 knuckles. And from here, we're going to make our way into our first down dog. So let's begin to send our hips back and up. You can pedal out through your feet. Take your time here. Let's bring our focus to our spine. So we want to make sure as we're in this posture, we're creating this long spine. So use your core to send your hips up and back. Pull your shoulder blades down your back body. Create a little space between your ears and your shoulders. And with this nice long spine, maybe we find stillness in our legs. And if our heels are lifted or if our knees are bent, that's okay right now. Let's take a full breath in here. Full breath out. And then on your next inhale, slowly begin to walk your feet towards the front of the mat. And we're all going to meet here in a forward fold. So in this forward fold, generous knee bend. You can even take a bind at your elbows if that feels good and come into more of like a rag doll where you sway a little from side to side. Just starting to open up into your low back. Let's take one more full breath in here. Full exhale. And then inhale, rise to half lift. So press your thighs back, reach the crown of your head towards the front wall. Shoulder blades down and in on your back body, engaged core to support your spine. Full breath in. And then exhale, fold. Let's take another nice breath in here. Full breath out together. And then inhale slowly, one vertebra at a time. We're going to begin to rise on up to extended mountain. So let the crown of your head be the last thing to lift, and then sweep your arms overhead. Gaze can lift. And then exhale, release your hands into our first mountain pose. So you can choose the position of your feet that feels most comfortable for you. Maybe that's our toe mounds touching with a slight V at our heels. Or maybe if we need a little bit more stability, we bring our feet under our hip points. So from here, begin to engage through your thighs, through your core. Maybe you give yourself a nice shoulder roll back to pull your shoulder blades down and in. Keep reaching your crown up towards the sky. So long spine throughout this whole practice, long spine. Palms are shining forwards. And then on an inhale, begin to shift your weight into your right foot. And exhale, ground down through all four corners of that foot. Feel really strong and stable here. And then on an inhale, let's lift our left foot off the earth. So our thighs about parallel with the mat. We're going to pause here for just a breath or two. Check in with your lower body, check in with your core. Feel really strong so that our upper body can feel light. One more inhale. And then exhale, slowly step your left foot back into a high lunge. And you can bring your hands on your hips. We're going to work from the ground up. So let's stack our right knee over our right ankle. And then let's lift our left heel over our left toe mound. And from here, we have our hands on our hips. So let's use our hands to guide our hip points forward, and then begin to hug your thighs to the midline to keep them in this neutral position. Send energy forward through your right shin, and then also pull back on your right heel. So we're really firing up our quad and our hamstring here. Inhale, feel this lift through your left hamstring, strong and straight back leg. Exhale, engage through your core, strong base. And then on your next inhale, send your arms up and overhead. You can roll your pinkies to the midline, draw your shoulders down away from your ears to create a little bit of space here. We're going to pause here for a few breaths to build a little bit of strength, a little bit of heat in our body, and really focus on a strong lower body so that you can feel this lightness through your torso, through your shoulders, through your arms. Let's take one more breath in. And then exhale, we're going to twist to the right. So our left fingertips are going to reach towards the front wall. And we're going to open up, trying to shine our sternum, our breastbone, towards the right wall. So on your inhales, keep reaching your crown up. Create some space between all the vertebrae in your spine. And then exhale from your core. Maybe we use that space and twist a little bit deeper. Take one more breath in. One more exhale. Maybe we shine that sternum a little closer to the right wall. Inhale, unwind. Arms come up overhead. And exhale, we're going to plant our hands. Step our right foot back to plank or plank on the knees. So take whatever option feels good for you. Wherever you are, our shoulders are behind our wrists. And if you feel like you're dumping your weight into your shoulders, just use your core a little bit more to help support your body. So pull your belly button in, pull your stomach in away from your shirt. Hug your thighs to the midline. Keep those heels lifted so you can send energy back through the soles of your feet. One more breath in here. And then exhale, bend into your elbows, slowly lower down to the earth. Release your forehead, untuck your toes. Let's take a full breath in here. Full exhale. Inhale, begin to pull your shoulders back, lift your chest. Our gaze is just beyond the front of our mat, baby cobra. Pause here for a moment. Send those elbows down towards the mat. Feel the sensation in your upper back body. One more full breath in. Exhale, release. Inhale, let's tuck our toes and then begin to engage through our core so we can just send our body up to plank or plank on the knees. And then exhale, hips are going up and back to downward facing dog. Take your time here. If you want to take a couple nice petals of your leg, feel free to do so. Maybe take another full breath in. Audible exhale. We can do that one more time. Inhale. Audible exhale. And then let's begin to anchor down through our left heel. And on your next inhale, send your right leg up high to three-legged dog. Exhale, we're going to begin to draw our right knee towards our left elbow. You can pause here in the middle if you'd like. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee is going to go towards right elbow. But again, you can hang out here in the middle if you'd like. Inhale, three-legged dog. And this last time, exhale, we're all going to meet here, holding our knee to our chest for a full breath in. And then exhale, step our right foot through into a low lunge. So from here, we're going to make our way into warrior two feet. So keep your right foot as it is, ground down through your right toe mound. And then we're going to pivot on the back foot, dropping the sole of our foot to the earth. And our toes can be pointed about 90 degrees, so towards the left wall. If you're feeling a little tight in your hips, maybe you turn your toes in slightly. Warrior two is a pretty big hip opener. And so you can take whatever foot position feels best. We're going to see that our right heel is in line with the inside of our left arch. And then from here, feel the nice strong base, ground down through your right toe mound, and then ground down through the pinky edge of your left foot. And from here, rise on up. Hands can come to hips. Let's begin to stack our right knee over our right ankle. Back leg is still strong and straight. And then from here, check to make sure that you can still see your big toe. So we can bring our thigh parallel with the earth, but we don't want to drop our pelvis too deep. It puts a lot of pressure. In places we don't need to put a lot of pressure. And so from here, shoulders are stacked over our hips. Turn your hip points to face the long edge of your mat, and then press the outside of your right thigh towards the back wall. From here, maybe we extend our arms long. Gaze can look past our right fingertips. Really energetically reach through your fingertips. Take a couple breaths here. Building a little bit of heat. And again, strong lower body so that our upper body can feel light. One more full breath in. One more full breath out. And then inhale, extend through your right leg, so straighten into that knee. And we're going to make our way to triangle. So begin to pull your right thigh back into your hip socket and send your left hip towards the back wall. Reach forward through your right fingers. And then from here, keep this lift in your right torso as you drop your hand to the inside or outside of your shin. This might be a great place to drop your hand to a block. If you feel open through your chest, maybe we're bringing our fingertips all the way to the earth. Left fingertips reach towards the sky, or our gaze can lift past them. If it's uncomfortable in your neck, you can always look down. Full breath in here. Keep this lightness, this lift through your right side body. Exhale, stay grounded through that left pinky edge of your left foot. One more breath in. Then exhale, begin to bend into your right knee. Inhale, rise on up, warrior two. Let's take one more breath in here. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down, pivot on your back foot, step your right foot back to plank or plank on the knees. We're just going to pause here for one more moment. Long spine. And then everyone's going to drop their knees and make their way to child's pose. So knees can come to the long edges of the earth, toe mounds can touch, and then send your hips back over your heels, extend your arms long, and you can let the crown or your forehead rest down on the earth. So come back to your breath here. Check in with your body, check in with your mind. Child's pose is a great pose to come back to. Whenever you're going through a yoga practice, maybe it's this practice today, and your body's feeling challenged to the point that it doesn't feel like it's serving you well, you can always come to this more restorative posture to give yourself an opportunity to come back to your breath, come back to your intention, and then join back in when you're feeling ready. So let's take another breath in here, another exhale, and then inhale. Let's walk our hands back, lift our chest off the ground. We're going to come to hands and knees just briefly. And we're all going to make our way to standing. So you can arrive in standing however you'd like. If you'd like to join me, I'm just going to send my hips up and back for a quick downward facing dog. Step, walk, or float your feet to the top. Exhale, forward fold. And then maybe from here, we slowly rise to standing with a nice shoulder roll back to bring our shoulder blades down and in our back body. So begin to arrive here in mountain pose. Find that position of your feet that feels most stable, most secure, because I know the very beginning of this involves a little bit of balance. So bring that engagement back to your thighs, back to your core. Palms are shining forwards. Our crown is lifting up towards the sky. We're still lengthening through our spine. One more breath in. Full breath out. And then inhale, let's begin to shift our weight into our left foot. And exhale, ground down through all four corners of your foot. When you feel strong and stable, on an inhale, lift your right foot off the earth. Right thigh can come to parallel with the mat if that feels good for you. And we'll pause here. Check in with your low body, check in with your core. See that our upper body feels light. One more breath in. And then on your exhale, at the pace of your breath, slowly step back into our high lunge. Hands can come to hips. Again, we're going to work from the bottom up. So let's stack our left knee over our left ankle, lift our right heel over our right toe mound, and begin to turn our hip points to get them shining forwards. To get them to stay there, hug your thighs to the midline, and you're kind of feel them lock in place. Begin to send energy forward through your right shin, and then pull back, or through your left shin, and pull back through your left heel to really start to feel your hamstring become involved. And thinking about hamstrings, let's begin to find some lifting in our right hamstring, strong and straight back leg. If you feel like you're starting to sway into your low back more than the natural curve of your spine, maybe we tuck our tailbone slightly here, engage through your core. And then with a strong base, inhale, with light arms, extend your arms overhead. Roll your pinkies towards the midline, draw those shoulder blades down and in on your back body. Anjaneyasana, crescent lunge. Let's take a few breaths here, building that same strength, that same heat that we had on the other side. Let's take one more breath in. And then exhale, begin to open up to the left side wall. So right fingertips are reaching towards the front, and then we're opening up, trying to shine our sternum towards the left wall. So on your inhales, create some space in between the vertebrae of your spine by reaching your crown up. And then exhale from your core, maybe we twist a little bit deeper. One more inhale here. One more exhale. And then inhale, let's unwind. Arms go back up to the sky. exhale, plant your hands, step your left foot back to plank, or again, you can always take plank on the knees. Whichever option you're in, check back with your shoulders. Shoulders are behind our wrists. We're holding our weight in our belly, so we're pulling our belly button in towards our spine, or just in away from our shirt. We're hugging our thighs to the midline, keeping our hips low. We're not spiking up here like in down dog. Send energy back through the soles of your feet. One more breath in. And then exhale, begin to bend into your elbows. Slowly release your body down to the earth. Forehead can rest on the mat. Untuck your toes. Full breath in here. Full breath out. Inhale, begin to pull your shoulders back. Lift your chest. Baby cobra. So our elbows down, our sensations between our shoulder blades. And if you're feeling any sensation in your lower back, use your hands to pull your chest forwards, creating a little bit more space. One more breath in. Exhale, release your forehead. Inhale, let's tuck our toes. Find a lot of engagement through our core so we can send our body up to plank or plank on the knees. And then exhale, we're all going to make our way to downward facing dog. So find your long spine, find stillness here, and let's take 3 full breaths together. Full breath in, audible exhale, full breath in, audible exhale. One more full breath in. Release that breath completely. And then let's begin to anchor down through our right foot. So inhale, as you're ready, send that left leg up high, 3-legged dog. And then exhale, we're going to draw our knee either towards our chest or maybe towards our right elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to chest or knee towards left elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. And exhale, all of us are going to send our knee to our chest and pause for a breath here. Full breath in. And then exhale, step it on through to our low lunge. Keep this opening in our chest so we're light on our fingertips. We're still engaged through our legs. And then as we're grounding down through our left toe mound, let's pivot on our back foot and bring the middle of our right foot arch in line with our left heel. And from here, keep grounding down through your left toe mound, and then begin to ground down to the pinky edge of your right foot. Back leg is strong and straight. And then from here, rise on up, hands on hips. So as we're in Warrior 2 legs now, we're going to start by shifting our left knee forward. So our knee is stacked over our ankle. Back leg is still strong and straight. And from here, we're going to stack our shoulders over our hips, turn our hip points to face the long edge of the mat, and then press our left thigh back. So this is a lot of hip opening. If it's too much for you, turn your right toes in slightly. So as you feel this strong base, extend your fingertips, left fingertips towards the front wall, right finger towards the back, and then let's gaze past our left fingers. Take a couple breaths here. Exhale, feel a strong base, strong legs, strong core. And inhale, feel lightness through your upper body. Take one more breath in. Full breath out. And then inhale, straighten through your left leg. Begin to pull your left thigh bone into your hip socket. Send your right hip back. Reach your left fingertips forwards. And we're going to come into triangle pose. So you can see me from the back this side. Keep this lift in your torso and then drop your left hand either to the inside or outside of your shin, maybe to blocks, or maybe down here to the earth. Right fingertips are reaching up towards the sky. Our gaze can look past them. Inhale, keep this lift through your left side body. So if that means coming up out of that posture a little bit, that's just fine. Open up through your chest. Keep those shoulder blades down and in. One more full breath in. And then exhale, let's bend into our left knee. Inhale, rise on up, warrior two. Take a full breath in here. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down, pivot on your back foot, step your left foot back to plank for just a moment. And then let's drop our knees and come back to child's pose. So you can take this same variation. If you'd like to try something different, maybe we keep our knees together. Toe mounds are still touching. We send our hips back and we reach our fingertips back towards the back wall, palms up. So do your check-in like we did last time. Come back to your breath. Notice your body, your mind, and maybe take a moment to come back to your intention. That thought of what makes you grateful to be you. It's easy to lose our intention when things start to get a little bit hard, but let's take a moment so we can come back to it. Take a few nice, deep, calming breaths. Take one more inhale. One more full exhale. And then inhale, we're going to press our body up. And you can come to hands and knees and move through a flow to get up to standing. Or if you'd like, you can just stand up. So not everything in yoga has to be a flow. So you can always just come to standing however you'd like. So take your time, arrive here in the way that feels best in your body today. And then as you arrive, again, take your time, but we're just going to meet by facing the long edge of our mat. I'm going to give everybody a moment. If you're already here, maybe you can begin to give yourself a couple shoulder rolls. Find a nice, tall, long spine. And then from here, once we are all ready and our toes are pointed towards the long edge of the mat, long edge of the room, we can begin to toe heel our feet into a wide stance. And so what a wide stance looks like is if we extend our arms long, our feet are under our wrists. Now, if you bring your feet under your wrists and you can't ground down through the pinky edges of your feet, then just scoot your feet in a little bit until you can feel strong and stable. And then from here, we're going to make our way into a forward fold. You can do that with your hands on your hips, or if you're looking for a little bit more opening in your chest, in your upper back, maybe we interlock our fingers behind our back, so palms to touch, and then begin to draw our knuckles down towards the earth. Open through your chest, maybe our gaze lifts a little bit. Take a full breath in, and then exhale wherever you are, fold at your hips. And if your hands are on your hips, release your fingertips towards the earth. Otherwise, you can reach your knuckles, press back towards the back wall, or maybe let your arms fall in the direction of your head. Let's take a few breaths in here. Inhales, find length in your spine. And exhales, maybe we fold a little bit deeper. Relax through the back of your neck, back of your head. See that your weight is centered over your arches, so we're not shifting forward or backward. One more full breath in. Exhale. If you've found this bind behind your back, release your arms down to the earth. And then inhale, press your body up to this tabletop spine. And our peak posture today is going to be goddess squat. And so right now we're just going to warm up our hips a little bit, stretch into our hips, our inner thighs. So we're going to begin to send our weight from side to side, bending into that knee, and then shifting our weight to the opposite side, bending into that knee. So you don't have to come down very deep here. We're just opening up through our inner thigh, our groin a little bit, and our outer hip. One thing we want to make sure we're doing is keeping our knee tracking in line with our toes. And so if you want to get a little bit deeper, you can always turn your toes out, press your thigh back, And this creates a little bit more space. You can even rock up on your opposite heel if that feels good. But just take your time and really listen to what you feel your body needs right now. Go as deep as it feels comfortable. And let's take one more on each side. So one more time over to the right. Maybe we lift our hands if that feels nice. One more time over to the left. Again, find whatever feels good for you. And then when you're ready, we're all going to make our way back to our forward fold with our toes pointed forward. Take a full breath in here. Full breath out. Inhale, rise to that tabletop spine. Really engage through your core. Hands come to hips. And then using your core strength, we're lifting ourselves back up into standing. Let's toe heel our feet back in for a moment. And we're going to chat a little bit about goddess squat. So we're going to do goddess squat 3 times today. So if you are familiar with this posture, feel free to jump right in, find the variation that feels best for you. If you are new to goddess squat, we're going to add a little bit each time, so feel free to stick with me. We're going to work with our legs, then we're going to add our arms, and then we might take a fun variation or two. So let's come back to our breath, come back to our strong mountain pose here facing the long edge of the earth, mat, although it feels like the earth right now. And so from here, we can toe heel our feet back into our wide stance. And then what we want to do is we want to turn our heels in and our toes out about 45 degrees. So visually, that's our toes pointing towards these front edges of our mat. Begin to find a gentle bend in your knees. And then from here, we want this upright spine. So we're going to do a slight tuck of our pelvis. So our tailbone is pointed straight down, our crown is reaching up towards the sky. Shoulders are down away from our ears. So soft bend, maybe we bend a smidge deeper. And then let's balance our weight. So sometimes we have a tendency to lean forwards really far in this posture or lean backwards. So try to distribute your weight between the front edge and the pinky edge of your foot. So you're really grounding down through the center of your feet here. Maybe if we're feeling strong, we bend our knees a little bit deeper. As you bend, there's a tendency, if our hips are a little tight, to roll our knees in. Again, we want our knees to track over our toes, so roll your thighs out. Make sure you can see your big toes and that our knees are in line with our heels and with our feet. We're going to hold here for just a few more breaths. Hands can stay here on the ground or on your thighs. Stay grounded on your thighs. Pull your shoulders down. Keep your chest open. One more breath in. Full breath out. Then inhale, let's rise on up. Toe heel our feet in. And you can either hang out here in mountain pose, or maybe you bend into your knees and take a ragdoll posture for a moment. Wherever you are, take a few calming breaths. And take this opportunity to check in with your body again. Check in with your body, your mind, and let's be kind to ourselves. This is a hard posture, especially as we start building on. It takes a lot of flexibility in our hips. It takes a lot of strength in our legs and in our core. And so check in with where your body's at. Check in with what your body needs. And if that means taking child's pose for a moment or coming out of this posture a little bit, that's fine. As you're ready, let's make our way back into mountain pose. So if you folded one vertebra at a time, rise on up, and then let's begin to toe heel our feet out into our wide stance. So heels come in, toes are pointed out towards those front corners, slight bend in our knees. We're tucking our pelvis so our tailbone's pointed down, and then we're slowly kind of coming back into this knee bend. As you bend your knees, keep checking in and rolling your thighs out. And if you hit a point where we're not rolling back anymore, stay right there. Maybe come back out of it slightly. Once you feel a strong base, engage through your core, and then maybe we add our arms. So you can bring your hands to heart center and maybe keep them here. This is going to challenge your balance a little bit by bringing your hands off your thighs. Or maybe we bring our arms out to cactus. If we bring our arms out to cactus, the tops of our arms are kind of in line with our shoulders. We're pressing, kind of squeezing our shoulder blades together. Palms are shining forwards. Let's take a couple of deep breaths here. Exhale, feel that strong lower body. Inhale, open up through your chest. One more full breath out. Then inhale, rise on up. Toe heel those feet together. Release your arms. And then again, strong mountain pose. Maybe we close down our gaze, or maybe we bend into our knees. Take a bind at our elbows and take a nice ragdoll posture, or we sway from side to side. Take some nice deep breaths. Let's do our check-in, and maybe this time come back to that intention, that positive intention. And so whether you're here with me, hanging out, getting ready for goddess pose number 3, or maybe you're down hanging out in child's pose, you're doing an awesome job. You're listening to your body and you're honoring what your body, your mind, your emotions, what you need. And so if you're here with me, let's rise back up to standing if you've taken a fold. And then let's get ready for our last round of goddess squat. So come into this wide stance. You can toe heel your feet, you can step your feet out, whatever feels most comfy. Turn your heels in, toes out 45 degrees or towards those front corners. Slight bend in your knees. And then from here, keep that weight evenly distributed between the front arch and the pinky edge of your feet. Slowly bend into your knees. So maybe we take it one piece at a time. We bend, we keep those thighs rolled out. We bend, we roll our thighs out until you come to a comfortable, maybe not comfortable, but a posture that feels safe and stable in your body. From here, open up through your chest. Take that arm variation that feels best for you. Maybe this time it's just keeping your hands on heart center so you can hold that thought of gratitude or that intention close to you. And then from here, we're going to take a few breaths. If you'd like to try something a little bit different, maybe we lift one heel or two, and we'll pause here for another breath or two. So full inhale, keep that chest open. If you lift your heels, sometimes there's a tendency to collapse. Open on up. Exhale, stay grounded now through those toe mounds. One more breath in. Exhale, release your heels. Inhale, rise on up. Toe heel our feet back in. And everybody, we're going to bend into our knees and take a nice forward fold. You can take whatever bind you'd like, maybe at your elbows. Maybe we bind at our elbows but behind our legs. Maybe our second and third fingers bind around our big toe. You can invite a little bit of gentle movement into your hips if that feels good, or sway from side to side. One more full breath in. And then exhale, begin to bend into your knees. We're all going to come into child's pose. So choose the variation that you think is going to feel best for you. And then release your forehead down. Release your arms either forwards or behind you if you're taking that second variation. And then as you come back to your breath, just take a peek up at the screen for a moment. The next thing that we're going to do is really stretch and open into our outer hips, which worked really hard in goddess squat and warrior two. And so I'm going to lead us through pigeon pose. And what pigeon pose looks like is this bend in our knee, and then we're sending our hips down. And so now if you have any pain in your knee, or you have tried this before and it just doesn't feel good in your body, you have two other options. So you can take a seated figure four, where one knee is bent. And then whatever knee that we are bending into in pigeon, you are crossing that ankle over the opposite thigh and pressing your knee away from your body. So we're opening up through, on this side, our right hip. If this doesn't feel good to do this posture in sitting, you can also roll on your back and do a supine or reclined figure 4 by reaching around and pulling your left thigh towards your chest. And that's going to open up through your right outer hip as well. So remember those variations. You're welcome to try pigeon, and if it doesn't feel good, just take one of those options that is going to feel better. They're all doing the same thing. So from child's pose, let's make our way back into hands and knees. And then once you arrive, for pigeon pose, we're going to bring our right knee behind our right wrist, and then we're going to bend into our knee and slide our right ankle behind our left wrist. Now, before we start to come into the posture, I want everyone to flex into their ankle. So whether you're seated, whether you're lying down, whatever leg is crossed, we're flexing about 90 degrees between the top of our foot and our shin, because we want to protect our knee. When we come into this posture, we want to make sure that we're not putting pressure on joints that we don't have to, and that we're keeping the sensation where we want it. So from there, if you're in pigeon, we're going to send both of our hip points down. So avoid rolling out here. Try to keep it forward. If that means coming out of it a little bit, that's okay. Take a few breaths in whatever posture variation you chose. If you're in pigeon and you'd like, you can take a fold here. Maybe bring your forearms to the earth or to your blocks. Maybe we fold a little bit deeper. You can bend into your elbows and release your forehead down to the backs of your hands. Take full breaths in. Release those exhales completely. Let's take one more breath in. One more full breath out. Then inhale, rise back up. Unwind wherever you are. So if you're in pigeon, we're coming back to hands and knees. If you're in the seated posture, we're just coming to a comfortable seat. And then if you're on your back, we're just releasing both of our feet to the earth. And so from here, everyone, let's take it to the other side. And so if you're in pigeon, we're sending our left knee behind our left wrist, and then sweeping or swinging our left ankle behind our right wrist. If you are in figure 4, we're crossing our left foot over the bottom of our right thigh. So those of us in pigeon, begin to send your hips down. Keep that weight balanced. Try to avoid rocking onto your left hip as much as you can. Maybe that even means bringing your hands up to block so you can sit a little bit higher. Everybody is flexed in their left ankle. We have this 90 degrees between the top of our foot and our shin, so we're protecting our knee. If you want, you can take a fold, but check in with your body. So we're going to have one side that probably feels a little bit tighter, and if this is that side, then you can stay lifted. It might not look the same as it does on the other side. Let's take a couple of deep breaths here. Really feel your rib cage expand with your inhales, and then feel your rib cage kind of collapse a little bit. Not collapse, but release that air in your exhales. One more full breath in. One more full breath out. And then let's unwind wherever we are. And we're all going to make our way onto our back body. So if you're on your back body already, you can stay right there. If you're on hands and knees, maybe we cross our ankles and come to seated to meet our friends in seated. And then from here, you can hold onto the back of your thighs. Use your core to slowly lower yourself down, one vertebra at a time. And from here, let's hug our knees into our chest. So maybe we rock a little bit from side to side. Give our low back a massage if that feels good. Come back to your breath. One more breath in here. And exhale, release the soles of your feet to the earth. And let's start to make our way into a spinal twist. So we're going to start with our arms. You can extend your arms out to the side. You can keep your palms up, maybe palms down, or you can bring your hands to cactus, whatever feels better. And then from here, on an inhale, ground down, press into the soles of your feet to lift your hips and shift them just a couple inches to the left. And then exhale, drop your knees to the right. So immediately check in with your shoulders. If you feel your left shoulder starting to pop up off the earth, maybe we turn our gaze to face the left side wall. Sometimes that just helps ground it back down. If it's still feeling really lifted, then maybe come out of this stretch a little bit. If you have a pillow or your blanket or a block, you can bring that under your right knee, so between your right knee and the ground, or maybe even between your right knee and your left knee. Let's take a few breaths here. So you can close down your gaze. Full breaths in, full exhales. Let's take one more inhale here. Exhale that breath completely. And then inhale, unwind, lift those knees up towards the sky. Exhale, press into your feet just enough to shift your hips back in neutral. And we'll take a full breath cycle here. And then inhale, again, find that arm position that feels best for you. And then begin to press into the soles of your feet to shift your hips a couple inches to the right this time. And exhale, drop your knees to the left. So immediately check in with those shoulders. If that right shoulder popped up, turn your gaze past your right shoulder. If that's still not quite enough, maybe we bring that block, that bolster, that pillow under our left knee or between our left and right knees. Take a few breaths here. Let your body slow down. It worked really hard. Allow your inhales and your exhales to lengthen. Let's take one more breath in. One more full breath out. And inhale, lift our knees back up to the sky. Exhale, press into the soles of your feet just enough to shift your hips back in line with your heels. And then we are going to extend our legs long, extend our arms overhead, come into a full body stretch. So really reach through your fingertips, press down through your toes. Full breath in, release that breath. And then let's come into one more side body stretch. So inhale here, exhale, walk your feet and then your hands towards the right side of the mat. And inhale, feel that opening through your left side body. Feel both shoulder blades grounded down and towards the earth. Maybe we cross our left ankle over our right. You can even grab your left wrist with your right hand to help deepen the stretch a little bit more. Take a couple breaths on this side. On your next inhale, return to center. And exhale, let's take it to the other side. So walk your hands, walk your feet towards the left side of the mat. Ground down through both of your shoulders. And then if it feels good, maybe we cross our right ankle over our left. Maybe we grab our right wrist with our left hand and pull gently to deepen this stretch a little bit more. Take a few breaths on this side. Really feel that expansion, that opening in your right rib cage through your entire right side body. One more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, return back to center, full body stretch. And then exhale, let's hug our knees to our chest one more time. So if there are any last minute postures that you'd like to take, you're welcome to. Maybe we take a happy baby together if that feels good. You can reach your hands between your thighs. Grab the outside of your feet, those pinky edges of your feet, and then open up through our hips. Soles of our feet are shining, pressing up towards the sky. We're trying to press our sacrum down into the earth. Different body positions may have a harder time with this, just the way we're aligned. So use that thought of pressing your sacrum down into the earth, but don't feel the pressure if your body's not doing it. Take another full breath in here. Full breath out. At the end of your exhale, if you're here in happy baby, let's come back to hugging our knees to our chest for just another moment. Maybe we roll through our ankles. And then we're all going to slowly make our way to Shavasana. So you have a couple choices here. You can extend your legs long, create a little bit of space, and come into a typical Shavasana. If you're looking for a little bit more opening through your hips, you can also come to a bound angle where you bring the soles of your feet to touch, let your knees fall out, and then you can adjust the sensation by sliding your heels closer or farther away from your sitting bones. And so take the option that feels best for you if you want to take this bound angle, or if you just want to come into a standard Shavasana. Either way, we're going to release the inner linings of our legs. Our hands can come wherever they're comfortable. So maybe that's palms up to the sky, or maybe that's one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Let your back melt into the earth, your shoulders, maybe the backs of your arms if you're in this position with me. If you haven't done so already, let's close down our gaze and really relax through the muscles of your face, your jaw, your neck. Sometimes it helps to feel like there's little weights on the corners of your eyes that are just pulling your eyelids down and out to the side. Begin to find stillness here. Maybe take another moment to hold on to that intention that you set at the beginning before we find stillness in our mind. Thank you so much for joining this practice with me and for sharing your practice with me. I'm going to leave you here to take as much time as you need. Namaste.